Hello, everyone. I'm Patty Ann Brown, and you are in the Strategy Room. The fight for the Republican presidential nomination continues as Donald Trump and Ted Cruz split wins in Tuesday's contests in western states. Donald Trump notching a victory in Arizona, taking home all of that state's coveted 58 delegates, while Ted Cruz had a decisive win in Utah, getting a whopping 69% of the vote there. Joining us now from D.C. to discuss the state of the GOP race are Democratic strategist Joe Lestingi and Republican strategist Amos Snead. Thank you for coming, both of you.
Thanks for having us.
So, Amos, what do you make of last night's results?
Well, I think this process was designed to give us a nominee. So you're seeing a lot of numbers go over to Trump. But I think, more interesting is how the Republican Party is uniting behind Cruz. Like if you look at the Jeb Bush endorsement, Nikki Haley, Lindsey Graham coming out in support of him. So you are seeing numbers go towards Trump, but you're also seeing the Republican Party really get behind Ted Cruz.
Yeah, Joe, Governor John Kasich has not won a state since his home state victory in Ohio. Ted Cruz is predicting that Kasich will exit the race in coming weeks. Do you think that's going to happen, or is he holding out for this contested convention possibility?
Well, actually, I wish I knew what John Kasich was thinking, but if he's smart on the strategic side, he's going to stay in. The establishment, as much as they want to back Ted Cruz, are really holding their noses when they do this. Don't forget that when this all started in this town in D.C., he was one of the most hated senators within the caucus. There were nasty things said about him. And then before these candidates started leaving the primary, they had a lot of nasty things to say about him then, too. And drawing a line and a distinction between Ted Cruz and Donald Trump is very hard for these people to do. Kasich is the viable third option. At a brokered convention, all rules go, and he's got to keep his name in the conversation. So I don't think he's going to drop out, because in the end, the math for Cruz to get to the nomination is still extremely hard. He may have won Utah, and congratulations to him, but he still lost 18 overall delegates in the count to Trump. Trump is just growing his lead. So Kasich needs to stay in if he wants to be a viable option, and the GOP just seems to be abandoning him. So I don't know how I would feel if I was him.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic. Amos, so let's talk about Cruz and Trump. The rivalry there does appear to be heating up, and the latest dust-up is this Super PAC ad that ran in Utah ahead of the caucuses. It has a photo of Trump's wife, Melania. It's a nude photo shoot that she did for GQ magazine, and Trump tweeted in response to that ad, "Lion Ted Cruz just used a picture of Melania from a GQ shoot in his ad. Be careful, Lion Ted, or I will spill the beans on your wife." Well, Cruz responded that it was a Super PAC who made that ad with the photo of Melania, and that it would be cowardly for Trump to attack Cruz's wife, Heidi. Amos, what do you make of all this?
Isn't this the best political season we've ever had,
Yes.
right? I mean, there's naked pictures from presidential candidates being tweeted out back and forth. It feels like we're watching a wrestling match right now as they're going back and forth at each other. But one thing to know, if you look at Arizona and Utah yesterday, I mean, Trump didn't get over 50%. So I think that's why you're seeing the Cruz camp a little excited about this, because there was such an anti-Trump vote in both of those states. So I think that's why you're continuing to see Republicans really rally around Ted Cruz, because he's the last hope to beat Donald Trump right now.
Yeah. Joe, what do you think about this whole photo thing? Are wives fair game? And what about the fact that it was a Super PAC that put out that photo? And it says specifically on it that this was not done by any candidate.
So this is welcome to the era of Citizens United. It's very hard to draw distinctions in the political communication world between Super PACs and candidates because of such close associations in the communications. Now, a couple things. Wives are absolutely off limits for stuff like this. This is not relevant to the presidency. It is not relevant to the campaign. And let's call this what this is. The supporters of Ted Cruz are trying to draw a moral line based on something that she did to express her femininity, and that is inappropriate. Now, Ted Cruz's wife, on the other hand, who's had a strong history with Wall Street and financial backings, which are relevant to the policy discussion of the nation today, that's fair game, and I think that is okay, because Ted Cruz actually benefited from her policies that made them more money on Wall Street. So that's fair game. But Amos used the most perfect analogy, which is a wrestling match, like a professional wrestling match, and that is where Donald Trump thrives. He wants to drag this debate down into those waters because that's where he is really, really good. And that's where he has excelled this entire campaign. Ted Cruz, unfortunately, is going to get pulled in if he keeps taking this bait, or his super PACs continue to take these routes. So, yeah, I mean, this thing's going to keep going like this, and it's just going to... Poor Amos over there has got to defend these guys. I feel sorry for him.
All right. He seems okay, but thanks for the concern. Joe, Amos, thank you both for joining us.
Thank you.
And for
Thanks for
complete
having us.
coverage of the 2016 race, go to foxnews.com. I'm Patty Ann Brown. Thanks for watching.